Scrambled eggs. I've consumed a lot of terrible scrambled eggs during my life, either too dry or soft yet watery. In fact, for a long time, I believed that I greatly preferred fried or poached eggs to scrambled eggs and didn't really enjoy them. They really turn out to be my favorite, though I can be rather finicky about food, so don't hold it against me if I later change my opinion. Soft and creamy scrambled eggs, in my opinion, are ideal. I make mine with both butter and milk, which enhances the creamy texture and flavor but, regrettably, also adds calories, making them a delicacy that I enjoy less frequently than my poached or fried eggs. So what is the key to scrambling eggs perfectly? Patience. Cooking is a really frustrating activity. It must be prepared over very low heat. At first, it appears to be doing nothing, and you may find yourself inclined to turn up the heat on the stove a little. Don't. Just keep in mind dry or wet, or even both, and remove your hand. Just give it some time, it will cook. If you give in to temptation and scramble your eggs on high heat, either you'll overcook them and get a dry version, or you'll think they look beautiful and by the time you go to the table they're sitting in a puddle of water, or worse, you've put them on bread and your toast is all icky and soggy. An appropriate blend of milk and eggs. I prefer to use full-fat milk while making scrambled eggs. Although I am aware that some recipes call for cream, I don't use it because milk is something I always have on hand. Some recipes advise omitting the milk and using only eggs and butter instead. Personally, I believe that preparing it in this manner results in the loss of a particular creaminess that gives it its delightful flavor. Without milk, it tastes like an omelette that has broken down. Additionally, I discovered that cooking it with milk makes it a little bit more forgiving. It can soon develop a rubbery skin that is unpleasant to eat without milk. However, you don't want to add too much milk since the longer it takes to cook and the more likely it is to be watery the more liquid you add. I've discovered that 30 milliliters of milk to each egg is the ideal ratio. Spreading out the recipe. You may easily multiply this recipe to create as much as you need. But be aware that it will take longer to cook more things in one pan. I once tried a batch and it took 50 minutes. Using many pans to cook scrambled eggs for a large group of people will probably be quicker. Ingredients: 2 eggs, 60 milliliters of whole milk, 1 tablespoon of butter, pepper and salt. Instructions: salt and pepper the 2 eggs and 60 milliliters of milk after beating them together. On the lowest heat setting on your stove, melt the butter in a small frying pan. Add the eggs and milk once the butter has melted. For about 30 seconds, don't stir while the food is cooking. Then, scrape down the pan sides toward the center with a big spoon or fish slice. Repeat about every 30 seconds until, after scraping, firm lumps begin to emerge in the center. Once lumps start to form, the egg will cook more quickly, so keep scraping from the edges to the center every 10 seconds or so until the egg is almost set. The egg will continue to cook in its residual heat until it has almost set. Serve.